What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I have some fantastic information for you guys today. I think you're really going to enjoy learning about all this, and hopefully it will help you better prepare for faction wars, or more importantly, save a lot of time, resources, chickens, whatever, the whole thing, gems, literally money. This is going to save you money if you start building this for the long term. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we're going to look at my account, sort of how I've been minimizing my roster, and then we're also going to go over the information from this Reddit user or this player on Raid Shadow Legends, which I really want to highlight because he's done a fantastic job at completing faction wars with as many rares, uncommons, or like on a low budget. And that's my kind of deal, right? I love the approach of trying not to use legendaries to make everything easy. Just thinking outside the box a little bit. And so the information that this player is going to provide for you guys once we go over his strategy and then sort of like comparing that to my account real quick at the same time will tremendously help you guys get Lydia as quickly as possible. Okay, so the first part I want to do is go over some of my champions and how I've been trying to minimize my roster. So like, let's say to complete faction wars, you would need all 13 factions of 5 champions each at, let's say, level 60. That would be 65 level 60 champions, fully geared, fully ascended, all masteries done. Do you really need that? No, you don't. Okay, so this player has proven it quite well. I've proven it in a sense as well with the ones that I've completed so far. But what I've been doing on my account is I've been trying to minimize my, let's say, roster for the clan boss. I only have about 7 different champions for all the clan boss affinities. Then let's say for Tag Arena, I have 12 different champions that are well geared for this, and with maybe, I don't know, like one that's being reused elsewhere. Yeah, like Rosin being used in the clan boss, right? And then some of them are being used in dungeons, for instance, Mausoleum Mage and Rhodos. Classic Arena is definitely 4 of these champions right here. Then if we look at my dungeons real quick, just to show you guys what I'm talking about. For instance, the Ice Golem. Okay, I have a Seer, I have a Stag Knight, the Mausoleum Mage. Then the Spider, we have the famous Cold Hearts in there, but the Stag Knight, again, I do have a Royal Guard and a Renegade, and then you'll start seeing these champions a little bit more for the other ones. And this one, the only one that would be really different would be the War Maiden, but we still have the Royal Guard, the Seer, Mausoleum Mage, the Renegade. Okay, so again, a very small roster of champions for the core things that you do every day. Okay, so clan boss, arena, and dungeons, right? And so faction wars, do you really need to double your roster for you to only complete it, right? And so I was kind of going down that road. I've been pushing to rank up a bunch of other champions to level 60, do masteries, the whole thing, before I even attempt the faction wars. The problem with this is that I've also been trying to gear all those champions aside from my core champions, and so this has been very time consuming, very expensive. Instead, what I want to show you guys today is that if you start building certain gear sets, they're going to be universal, and you'll be able to shuffle those around as you try and complete the next faction without ever needing to fully gear all of those champions. Gearing all of those champions will come in the long term, okay? And so instead of like the Arbiter missions, trying to make the perfect, really fast Dragon 20 team, instead just go for a team that can finish that mission, then go build a team that can finish the Fire Knight missions, then the Ice Golem, then the Spider, and then once you get Arbiter, once we get Lydia, you can, let's say, redesign your teams around this. You know what I mean, right? So here's what this player has done, and so we're gonna go over his post real quick. I'm gonna link this in the chat. You can scroll down and you can see a bunch of the other factions that he's completed. We can look at a couple of examples, for instance, Demon Spawn. I'll get some screenshots a little bit bigger for you guys in a second. Okay, so Demon Spawn, we have a Diabolist in there, we have Tainix Hate Flower, which was a login reward. We have Umbral Enchantress, which was part of a fusion not too long ago. Sacred Order in here. We have, if I'm not mistaken, the Armiger, right? There is a Martyr, but we do have a Mother Superior. Okay, quite interesting. Ogre Tribes. We have literally a level 2 Brute and a Shatterbones level 40, not ascended. As for the Lizardmen, we have a level 40 Jarang, level 50 Harry Specs, level 50 Broadma, level 40 Saurus. That's level 20. And then here's stage 21. He has Harry Specs, 2 Jareg, Broadma again, okay, level 50. High Respects, level 50. Here we have an Executioner, 2 Senacia. Okay, that's maybe a little bit harder, but still, overall, very nice. This one right here, we have the Ursine, Ironhide. Basher was part of a fusion. Brachus was a fusion. So you can kind of see what he's trying to do here, okay? But let's take 2 specific examples. Let's pull up his Demon Spawn, and then this is the Umbral Enchantress in stun, okay? So pay attention to the sets, the overall sets that he's using on each of them. Tainix Hate Flower will say a little bit of mixed, okay? So far, 2 different sets. His Soul Drinker is kind of like a nuker, so we're gonna say 3 different sets. We're back with another stun set. I thought we had a Relentless in here. Yeah, here we go, Relentless Allure, okay? So Relentless, 2 stuns, and 1 a little bit mixed. So if we look at, let's say, the Sacred Order, we have a nuker again, we have a Relentless again, we have a stun again, and let's go the other way. We have a stun again, and then we have a Relentless again, okay? So, like, if you build, let's say, 2 solid stun sets, 2 solid Relentless sets, and then sort of like 1 nuke slash, maybe we'll say lifesteal if you can't exactly afford to have like a dedicated healer for that faction wars, you should have something that's pretty universal for all the factions. Then, of course, it's going to be about picking some champions that provide a lot to the table, like a lot of turn meter control, crowd control, a healer if you can, because it's all about just controlling the waves. Even if it takes 20 minutes to complete, let's say, the run, in this case, that's literally what it is, 20 minutes, you don't care. You just want to complete that stage with 3 stars, get Lydia, and then redesign this team to work on auto for stage 20 once you have any extra leftover gear. So what I've done for you guys is I've made a very fancy spreadsheet. Actually, I just started doing this, okay? So this is me mapping out my teams and then trying to figure out which champions are going to get, let's say, the so-called Cruel or Lifesteal set. For instance, a Horden, a Royal Guard, a Fenax, a Berserker, all your nukers for each of the factions. Then I even put a somewhat shield set in here instead of random pieces, because I know I have some pretty solid shield sets. So for instance, my Stag Knight currently has one, my Apothecary could easily have one, my Cantrip could have one, or maybe the Sile of the Drakes. I can play around with this. But then I start to notice that, like on Sacred Order, I don't exactly have a support champion like that, no healer. So maybe, going from what I've seen on this guy's post, I could drop a Thel and go for a Mother Superior at level 50, which is not that hard to do on my account. That's like a one-day job, right? So again, little things like this will matter in the long run. Then I go over sort of like the stun sets, either 2 stun sets or 2 Relentless sets, not exactly sure, but I just then try to figure out which champion would be better with that set. Then what I do is I'm going to start tracking who's going to get that set when I shuffle it around, so that I don't forget where did I put that gear, or who's got that piece, or what I need to do. For instance, for my Lifesteal Cruel set, let's say Horden has the 4 main pieces, 5 main pieces, and then I grab my best boots from my Foley, grab my best gloves, or best boots from the Seer, my best sword from my Occult Brawler, and I've got myself a very solid Lifesteal offensive set, right? And so then I do the same thing for Relentless with a lot of speed. I built one on Allure, then Killian's gonna get it, Armiger's gonna get it, Ursine's gonna get it. I might switch up the chest piece every now and then for one to be defense percent or HP percent or whatever. But overall, if you design your sets to be universal, it'll save you a ton of time, okay? And mapping this out might sound like a lot of work, but if you really want to complete faction wars, I mean, you almost have to do this. Right. So, guys, that's basically going to be it. I know it's like a lot of information all combined into one. The post is really long. There is a ton of information in here, so you guys are probably better off to just go click on this link, go over each of those factions, see how this guy has done it, and how you can start preparing for this ahead of time. I'm also going to point out that, yeah, the Great Hall will really affect this, okay? So I'm thinking that guy has a pretty solid Great Hall, so don't expect that you can do this, you know, after, let's say, 4 months of gameplay, unless you're an ultra whale and then you just kind of like go crazy on the arena. But this accounts for a huge portion of your stats. So like the sets are one thing. Of course, you would want to work with some of your best sets. So for instance, if my Rotos already has a really solid Relentless set, maybe I don't need to build a 3rd or a 2nd or a 4th one, right? Because I think I have like 2 usable Relentless sets right now on my account. So instead of gearing all those champions with all Relentless sets, I'm just gonna shuffle this around. That's really what it's all about, and that's what I meant by me not thinking outside the box enough. I kind of like didn't commit to stripping my characters for a day only to gear that certain faction and then attempt to finish it. But I'll probably start doing that once they're all at level 60 and they're all at that last stage. Maybe on some of them I could get away with like not finishing all the champions like he's done, but like his gear was pretty impressive, and I don't even think I have that kind of gear overall on my account, but still it is a great example of how you can prepare ahead of time. Okay, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.